This video is about food insecurity and addiction in Australia, why they're linked, why we should care, and what we can do about it. Australia is one of the richest countries on earth, yet at the same time, we have a wicked problem. Many Australians worry about where their next meal will come from. 3.7 million Australian households experienced food insecurity in 2023. The causes of food insecurity are multifaceted. To eradicate food insecurity within Australia, the attention of policymakers will be pulled in many different directions. Food prices, inequality, wages, unemployment, housing costs, and logistics conspire to make it harder for many Australians to do something so basic and essential as eating. Another factor is alcohol, an Australian pastime, intertwined with our celebrations and milestones, our sporting and cultural events, our lyric and self-image. The average Australian household spends $1,717 per year on alcohol. However, a significant minority spend far more. 1 in 20 Australians drink daily. Let's look at the costs of being a heavy beer drinker. 24 cans of VB will set you back roughly $62. If you are drinking 6 cans a day, your yearly alcohol spend is over $5,000. This is likely the best case scenario as well, as it doesn't consider more expensive purchases, such as drinks bought in bars or in smaller quantities. Say you live with another heavy drinker with similar habits. Your household expenditure could easily top $10,000 per year. Studies have found that some Australian households, especially lower income households, are spending over 50% of their weekly income on alcohol. A substantial proportion of this cost is tax. The cost of alcohol crowds out other expenditure, including expenditure on food. It also affects the kind of food that is purchased. Minimum alcohol unit pricing was introduced in Scotland in 2018. The government instituted a price floor of 50p per standard alcoholic drink, which increased the price of most alcohol. This policy was not implemented in the neighbouring area of the north of England, which created a natural experiment. Total household food expenditure fell by 1% in Scotland, and did not fall in the north of England. Moreover, fresh fruit and vegetable purchases fell more substantially in Scotland, whereas the sales of chips and other shelf-stable junk carbohydrates increased. Some people responded to the price signal and cut down on their drinking. The evidence would suggest that others, tragically, continued to drink and cut down on their eating. Bennett's law states that as incomes fall, spending on starchy staples as a proportion of household food expenditure will rise. In the case of minimum unit pricing in Scotland, Bennett's intuition is plain to see. Higher taxes caused the real income of Scottish people to fall, and their diet suffered as a result. The relationship between alcohol dependency and food insecurity is bidirectional. Food insecurity causes alcohol dependency. Hunger, stigma, shame, and exhaustion can lead food insecure people to abuse alcohol for its euphoric sedative effects, but also to suppress hunger. On the other hand, alcoholism can cause food insecurity. The cost of alcohol crowds out healthier purchases. The experience of being intoxicated makes healthier eating less likely, and even if healthy food is available, often heavy alcohol use damages the body's ability to absorb the nutrients it needs. Alcohol misuse and food insecurity are wicked problems that intersect. Increasing taxes on alcohol does affect consumer behaviour. Some will cut back or stop drinking. However, some will allocate greater portions of their income towards alcohol and go hungry instead. Unfortunately for policymakers, there may be a trade-off between discouraging alcohol misuse and worsening food insecurity. For these reasons, I am advocating for the federal government to consider 2 policy objectives. Firstly, more has to be done to break down the barriers that stop Australians from accessing treatment for their addiction. Unfortunately, there are often long wait times in the public system, and due to stigma, many won't access care until their condition is chronic. If we can improve the way we treat alcohol dependence, we can improve food security for marginalised Australians. Secondly, government should consider freezing the alcohol excise tax. The cost of living is causing food insecurity, and for people suffering from addiction, further increases in alcohol taxation might push people into hunger. If you take one thought away from watching this video, I hope it's this. We should care for these people. Instead of raising taxes from their addiction, we should invest in making their future better.